the sovereign of the ice, a journey into the heart of the Arctic. In the farthest reaches of the Arctic, where the land stretches out in endless whiteness and the air is thick with frigid silence, a colossal force stirs. The ice, hardened by centuries of wind and snow, trembles slightly under the weight of this living titan. It is the polar bear, a ruler born of the very harshness it commands. Majestic and formidable, it is a ghost of fur and frost, an apex predator whose reign over this frozen kingdom is absolute. The Arctic itself is a land where survival is a battle waged in extreme conditions, a place where every moment teeters on the edge of life and death. Yet, within this vast and unyielding wilderness, the polar bear has perfected its survival strategy. Powerful, precise, and unforgiving, it has been shaped by millennia of evolution to thrive where few others can. Standing nearly 8 feet tall on its hind legs and weighing as much as 1,500 pounds, the polar bear is not just an animal, it is an elemental force. Its enormous paws, each the size of a human chest, are perfectly adapted to function as snowshoes, enabling it to walk across the thin ice without sinking. These same paws act as powerful paddles when the bear plunges into the icy waters, swimming effortlessly for miles in search of prey. Every feature of the polar bear has been crafted for survival in this unforgiving environment. Beneath its thick white fur, the bear's skin is black as coal. This seemingly paradoxical trait is a masterstroke of nature's design. Black skin absorbs and retains the faint warmth of the polar sun, helping the bear maintain the vital heat it needs in a land where temperatures can plummet to -50 degrees Fahrenheit. Its fur, dense and insulating, not only keeps it warm but also provides camouflage in the snow, making the polar bear nearly invisible against the frozen landscape when it moves. As an apex predator, the polar bear is not one to hunt for sport. Its sole purpose is to survive and sustain itself in a world where resources are scarce and competition is fierce. Its primary prey is the ringed seal, a slippery creature that emerges from tiny breathing holes in the ice. The polar bear knows that these holes, which the frozen landscape like fragile windows to another world, hold the key to its survival. The hunt is an art of patience. A polar bear will lie in wait for hours, sometimes even days, beside one of these holes, perfectly still, its breath barely rising above the snow. The seal, unaware of the danger lurking nearby, will surface for air, but when it does, the bear strikes with an almost unnatural speed. In the blink of an eye, the moment of stillness explodes into a blur of fur, claws, and teeth. The seal is no more. But the life of a polar bear is not only defined by its solitary hunts. These giant predators live in a world where every step is shadowed by the ever-present threat of rivals, predators, and the unforgiving environment itself. The Arctic, though seemingly barren, teems with life, each creature vying for a place in the food chain. Wolves occasionally stalk the giant bear, waiting for an opportunity to scavenge scraps from its kill. Arctic foxes, ever alert, will patrol the periphery of the bear's hunting ground, ready to snatch anything left behind. The struggle for food is relentless, and the polar bear has learned to defend its prize with ferocity. Yet, even the greatest of hunters must contend with the fickle nature of the Arctic. As the seasons shift, the ice that sustains the bear begins to recede, breaking apart and forcing the bear to swim vast distances to reach the next patch of solid ground. The summer months are a dangerous time, when the melting ice creates vast stretches of open water. The polar bear must cross these waters to reach new hunting grounds, swimming sometimes for days, enduring icy currents and the constant threat of exhaustion. Each stroke is a gamble. A mistake could cost it its life. The polar bear's journey begins long before it takes its first breath of frigid Arctic air. Each year, a mother bear retreats to the dens she carves into the snow to give birth. These dens are not merely shelters. They are lifelines, offering her cubs the warmth and protection they need in their earliest days. Inside the den, the cubs are completely vulnerable, barely a pound in weight, and with no defenses to speak of. Yet within weeks, they will begin to grow, their eyes slowly adjusting to the stark sunlight of the Arctic tundra, where the landscape is a desolate sea of white and gray. The mother polar bear nurtures her cubs with milk rich in fat, giving them the strength they will need to survive the harsh conditions outside. The bond between them is profound. For the mother, every step, every movement, is made with one purpose: to ensure that her cubs grow strong enough to face the unrelenting challenges of the Arctic. She watches over them with vigilance, constantly aware of the threats that lurk in the shadows of the ice. As the cubs grow older, the lessons of survival begin. The mother teaches them the ways of the ice, the art of patience and observation. They learn to read the land, to understand the rhythm of the seasons, and, most importantly, how to hunt. But the lessons are hard. A single failed hunt can mean days without food, and their chances of survival hinge on the mother's ability to keep them nourished. In the Arctic, every decision is fraught with danger. The bears must navigate the treacherous balance between life and death. The cubs' first experience of danger comes not from the environment, but from their own kind. Male polar bears, driven by primal urges, sometimes pose a threat to cubs, even to the point of killing them. This behavior is driven by the male's desire to reduce competition for mates and resources. In these moments, the mother's ferocity knows no bounds. She will fight with everything she has, risking her life to protect her young. The polar bear's survival instincts are not limited to its own kind. The wolves, too, have learned to stalk these giants of the tundra. Although wolves generally avoid direct confrontation, they are skilled scavengers. Packs of wolves will sometimes circle around a lone bear, waiting for a moment of weakness, hoping to steal a piece of its kill. This constant threat forces the polar bear to be ever vigilant, never allowing its guard to slip, even for a moment. The harshness of the Arctic is mirrored in the interactions between other creatures. The landscape, while harsh, is far from lifeless. Arctic hares, their fur as white as the snow, dart across the tundra, while beluga whales glide gracefully beneath the ice. Even in this hostile environment, life continues to pulse. The polar bear, with its immense strength and silent grace, stands at the top of the food chain, but it is never alone. The ecosystem of the Arctic is a delicate web, each thread dependent on the others. But perhaps the most striking feature of the polar bear is its ability to endure. Despite the constant battles for survival, the bear remains undaunted, driven by an inner resolve. Its power lies not just in its physical prowess, but in its ability to adapt to the ever-changing landscape. It knows when to strike and when to wait, when to fight and when to retreat. Each movement, each action, is calculated for maximum effect. And as the sun begins to dip below the horizon, the polar bear continues its solitary journey, its footprints leaving a trail in the untouched snow. The ice stretches out endlessly before it, a land of possibilities and dangers, and yet the bear moves forward, ever resolute. Its domain is not just a place. It is a testament to the resilience of life in one of the harshest environments on Earth. Every year, the ice recedes a little further. The challenges grow, but so does the polar bear. Its journey, its struggle for survival, is far from over. It is a creature of the ice, a sovereign born of both power and fragility, capable of tenderness, yet equally capable of terror. Its reign over the Arctic is a constant reminder that even in the harshest of realms, life finds a way. In this frozen kingdom, every breath the bear takes is a defiance of the elements. Each step, each hunt, each challenge it faces speaks to the raw will to survive. The polar bear is not just a creature of ice. It is the embodiment of life in the world's last true wilderness. In this world of extremes, the polar bear stands as both a destroyer and a nurturer, reminding us that life, even in its most brutal form, is a precious and fragile gift.